It's an honor and a privilege to be here tonight. The Harrington Foundation asked me to speak, and I went to a meeting the other night for it because I didn't know what I was supposed to talk about, and somebody told me just to pretend I was at a meeting. So my name is Kim.
Hi, Kim.
And I'm a grateful, recovering drug addict and alcoholic. And I'm wicked nervous. So my clean date is November 29, 2011, and it took me until I was 41 years old to find my way into the fellowship of NA and AA, and basically I grew up next door in Medford. I grew up with, an average family. I grew up with really good friends, and I felt like I didn't belong, and I didn't fit in anywhere, and I found relief in the medicine cabinet and the bar in my parents' house. And, I have the same friends today that I grew up with, and for some reason I felt like I never belonged. There was always something missing in my life. Somebody might put that void there, but we foster it. And I nurtured that for a really long time. And, I got to an age where I couldn't stop drinking and I couldn't stop doing drugs. It's all I thought about. In the morning I would wake up and I would say I'll never do it again. And by 10:30, I was on the phone trying to square things away for the day. I had a couple of kids. I raised them haphazardly at best. The DA talking about, those 5-year-old kids that are in the house that are affected by alcoholism and drug addiction. Those are my kids. I was there. I was in the house, but nobody was home upstairs. I was basically just a body sitting on the couch, ignoring my kids. But, I started really young. I was going through the medicine cabinet on Sunday mornings while my parents were still in bed, waiting for them to get up to take me to CCD. And I would take anything with a drowsy face on it. And then I would sit on the couch, all beamed out, watching the Smurfs. And that's basically what I did for the next 30 years. I ran around with my foot nailed to the floor. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't attain anything. I never accomplished anything until I put down the drink and the drugs. And, all my friends moved on, graduated high school, went to college, got married, had kids, they have houses, and they have big decks and grills and things like that. And I was living in my best friend's mother's attic apartment, all by myself. Sometimes I wouldn't leave for a couple of days at a time because it's a really steep flight of stairs going downstairs. And I was always good for falling down and knocking myself out. The worst part of all this is nobody ever really knew what I was doing. No one could ever understand, because I was so smart, I had so much potential, and I did really good in school when I was really small, and then all of a sudden one day it just stopped. I stopped thinking about homework, I stopped thinking about school, and all I thought about was where I was going to get my next drink or my next drug, depending on what phase of life it was. And like I said, it continued like that until I was 41 years old. So I got, fast forward, my last night out wasn't anything spectacular. I'm not going to get into, all the awful things I did to myself and to other people. I lied, I stole, I cheated, and ended up alone. Ended up with that void, was a monster hole that I couldn't fill with anything. Money, drugs, alcohol, men, kids, nothing. And I couldn't figure out what I was missing, but I was looking for something constantly. And I have a couple of family members that were constantly nagging me to go to a meeting. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with me because I have no relationship with the police, no relationship with the courts, and my kids weren't taken away from me. I was never in a coma. I never overdosed. I never went to jail. So there was nothing wrong with me, and there was nothing wrong with what I was doing. I actually thought that I was behaving normally, but God help me if anybody find out what I was doing. So I have these 2 nephews in and out of the program asking me to go to meetings. I'm going to go get a tattoo and do P90X instead. I'm going to be fine. And I have way too many tattoos, and I can never get past week 4. Though everybody thinks I did. But, you know, last night I went home and something happened to me. I was somewhere where I didn't belong, like always. My kids weren't taken away from me. My kids left me. My kids have come from, you know, they have great dads. That's plural. And they both went and lived with their fathers, where they had all the advantages that I couldn't give them. See, I had the kids, but I didn't have the means to take care of them or raise them, and nor did I have the time because I was busy looking for drugs and trying to figure out how to get my hands on them. And I'm really lucky because one of my drug dealers was my next door neighbor. He was a sophomore at Holland Catholic, and all I had to do was wait for him to get home from school, and that was at like 3:45. Anyway, my kids left. I had no relationship with my family. People were becoming more and more disappointed in me. Nobody ever asked me to babysit. Sometimes that's fine, but nobody was ever asking me to do anything for them. Nobody wanted me to, you know, do any favors. I called my nephew. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and he answered the phone, and all he said was, "Auntie, are you ready?" And I had no idea what I was in for. I had no idea what I was ready for. And he took me to my first meeting the next day. Took me to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting in Malden, the Nightmare on Elm Street meeting. And shout out to Elm Street. And I haven't picked up a drink or a drug since. Yeah. So, all right, I gotta fast forward a little bit, I guess. I'm sorry. So it's been 3.5 years. Basically what happens when you stop drinking and doing drugs after 30 years, you're basically a 15-year-old trapped in a 41-year-old's body. Therefore, I needed to follow all the suggestions of the women that came before me, which took me about 8 or 9 months to start listening to women. But eventually that's what I did. You know, I'm a nervous wreck right now, but the person standing here today is not the person that walked into those halls. I have a relationship with God that is unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life. God was my punisher, as I am a Catholic school student and not a favorite of the nuns. So my middleman to Jesus were really angry people. But today I have a relationship with God. Every morning I beg Him. Every night I thank Him, whether I got what I wanted or not. That's what my life is all about today. Basically, it's all about doing the right thing, putting one foot in front of the other, and helping the next girl come in and give her the guidance that was given to me. I'm really grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be clean and sober, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim. What a Great job, everyone.